Hey everybody, what's up? This is Tim Hart, branch manager of Van Dyke Mortgage here in Fort Myers. Have two of my friends here with me from my networking group at SM Professionals, and today we're going to be talking about solar energy and if it's right for you. I got the father and son duo, John and Tom Gonser. Guys, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing great.
You two are just good looking, father and son, I tell you. So, but anyways, I want to make sure you guys, we brought you on, been getting to know y'all. And, we're in the mortgage business, a lot of homeowners, and you talk a lot about solar energy. And so I thought it'd be great if you came on, and because there's a lot of, unknowns out there for people. And I want to make sure y'all came on and we talked about, why it's going to be good for people or why it would be good for people. And before we get into that, I know Green Panda Energy is very proud that you're a family owned business here in Southwest Florida. And so I want to make sure you let everyone know who you guys are. So the floor is yours to let everyone know who Green Panda Energy is, and then we'll roll into solar energy and if it's right for them. Okay.
Yeah, we've owned our own businesses for quite a few years. And as we started the Green Panda Energy, one of the things that we wanted to be able to do is work with companies. And it's a little bit like if you have an insurance company and all that they can do is they can market one product. Green Panda Energy wanted to be able to have the best of everything, almost like an insurance company that could sell many different lines. So we have many different installers. We also have different panels, so we can actually come in and have the best for you as far as what you're looking for as solar is concerned.
Different finance options, whatever you need. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, what a beautiful family you guys have. So good job there, and you guys are really tight. I've gotten to know a lot of y'all and seen you in action. You can tell family's very important. So that's cool.
One of the things I think too is people want to know that they're secure in dealing with a company that is a local company. And it's also something that as you look at that, being able to give back within the community, we feel is very, very important.
Yeah, nice. Nice. So let's, I know you guys have some slides here and I don't want to take over. So do you want to get into solar energy, because y'all deal with this every single day? I don't. So what is solar? All right, you're ready. Go for it.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what solar is. Solar, if for those that just are not aware of it, solar is something that creates electricity, and they'll have different silicone wafers that they'll have in there, and it creates electricity. And on the left hand side, as you see it, the people will put that on their roof, and it will create something called DC current, which stands for direct current. But then it has to be changed over to the alternating current, and it has something called an inverter. And the government has mandated your electric companies to be able to allow you now to be your own power company. And so people are now coming in. It's one of the fastest growing it's ever been. I think it's up over 40 some odd percent. Last year, you're looking at the efficiency has increased dramatically, and the cost has gone down dramatically. So you're going to see more and more people that are going to be going to solar. And I think as you look at where the world is today, people are trying to come in there and have a cleaner world. And so you're looking at something that as it goes up to the top there, it's called net metering. And net metering is something that you will be able to create energy. And that energy then goes back to the energy company and they give you credit for what you created. And anything left over, you'll see on the bottom there, that's what goes as far as the bottom is concerned. And the top is what you would actually have as far as your home consumption. Our goal.
I think that's the next. Is that the next? Oh no, this slide. Okay, you're on it. Never mind.
Yeah. What we try to do is whatever your bill is, the same bill that you have would pay for literally, it would pay 100%. That's what our goal is whatever it is, you've already got the bill. Why not end up getting credit for it? And now, why now? As you look at why now, one of the things that you're going to find, and most people have heard this actually in the news right now, and I've gone through it as far as my age, I've seen inflation going up. And as you look at inflation going up, it's the highest inflation that they've had now in 31 years. One of the biggest areas that you're going to see as far as prices going up is going to be in the area of energy. In fact, a lot of people are familiar. Last year, they were probably paying just for their gas. They were probably paying $1.50 to maybe $1.80. I just spent $60 just to fill up my tank. And that is not going to be uncommon. The same thing's going to go out with your utility rates.
Yep, I just dropped $100 this morning. at the gas station for my truck.
Oh man,
$100. I just saw something just on inflation this morning. This was a truck now, and he's filling up his truck, and this is, I think, an over the road trucker. $700 to fill up, and that's every single day. Wow. And so, as you look at Florida Power and Light, which is right down here in Florida, they are proposing that they're increasing their electric bills by 18% by 2025. That is not an uncommon thing that's going to happen. It's going to happen more and more. So people want to get ahead of the curve and be able to take advantage of it right now. So I'm going to pass it over to John here. And then Tim, any questions that you maybe have at this particular point?
Not yet. No, you guys are going good. I like the presentation. So, keep on going.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Dad. Now, what I like to look at is if this makes sense for a customer. Solar is not for everybody. So these are some of the benefits that when you look at owning versus renting, why did you buy your home? You want to have all the benefits of ownership versus renting. And that's kind of how we look at our power, owning it versus renting it. So if I'm paying $1,100 a month for my mortgage and my neighbor puts a sign in the yard for renting $1,000 a month, he's got the exact same house in every way. I'm not going to sell the house, move next door so I can save $100 because I'm going to miss out on the tax benefits, the equity, the end date, and zero inflation. So those are a lot of the main reasons why it makes sense to do it, but it's not for everybody. So what we do is we look at if somebody is going to be able to have the tax benefits that are out there right now. This is called the residential energy credit from the IRS, form 5695. And basically you do have to have it's a credit. You have to have taxable income. So if it's somebody who's retired, only living off Social Security, doesn't have a pension, not really paying much in taxes, this might not be for them. It just, we have to look at each individual situation and see if it makes sense.
Well, sometimes though, John, too, it is for them, but they don't get the residential energy tax credit because they will get a flat rate now. Yeah. So sometimes we've run into situations where they want to lower their cost of living. And so this will lower their cost of living, but they don't get the energy tax credit.
Yeah.
But it's an added benefit to solar is getting this credit.
Exactly. They can have a flat rate, Tim.
And this is one of the tax benefits. There's other tax benefits as well, where it doesn't, even though their equity is going up on day one, their property taxes are actually not allowed to be included in that. Do you want to explain that a little bit? Okay. Well, so let's talk about this. There's a resident. So this is what the goal is. Here's a bill from Florida Power and Light, from actually right down the street. We're at my dad's house right now. This is one of his neighbors. He had previously about a $394 bill. Some were even higher than that. And the goal was to try to offset as much of that as possible. Now, if you see on the very bottom, it's $9.98. So all those charges, gross receipts tax, franchise charge, utility tax that were $8, $21, and $30 went down to pennies when you reduce the electricity. And you can see the arrow, it went from $394 April 7th of 2020 to $9.98 April of 2021. They got installed at the end of March. So this is a perfect example of what's able to be done, and it's not for everybody. So he didn't have trees, he had the right angles, he had lots of area that didn't have vents in the way, he didn't have a choppy roof. So what a responsible solar company needs to do is look at somebody's specific situation and see if it makes sense. The aesthetics is something that's huge for customers. And if you're in real estate, that's obviously going to be a very big deal for most homeowners. A lot of times what happens is people are assuming it's still going to be the old, the grid in the background here with the blue lines and everything. They
You
have.
just wanted to, you want to show your glasses again. That's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right? That's live.
Yeah. Yeah. We do love wearing those glasses, although you can't see out of them super well.
They look sharp.
So this is what they look like now. They're pretty much like a black turned off TV, just black on black. Very great looking aesthetically. It looks like that house is much more technologically advanced.
One of the things I might note too, people will always ask, what kind of a roof can I put it on? You can put it on a tile roof. You can put it on virtually any kind of a roof, asphalt roof. And so these are the metal roof. And so these are ones that have been put on. In fact, in our residence, we have it on here and it's a tile roof.
Yep.
And getting to know you guys, you would suggest if anyone needs a new roof, they do the roof, then solar, not the other way around, right?
Absolutely. They want to do the roof first.
Yeah. And that's a great question, Tim. So a lot of times what people were not aware of back here with the residential energy credit is they will actually, if you wrap it in with the solar, the government looks at it. Now, we're not tax experts, so consult with your tax accountant, but we have plenty of customers that have done this, and I believe that this is correct, and it has the lines right here, but I just wanted to cover my bases. We are not tax accountants. But
right. Disclaimer.
What a lot of people do is they'll get the roof, they'll get tree trimming, they'll get AC done, they'll get windows, doors, insulation, smart home automation, a lot of different things wrapped in with their solar project, because the government currently is giving 26% back on all of that. So if you just need a new roof, you're not going to get 26% off the job when it's done. But if you wrap it in, if you're in the process of solar, the government looks at it like, well, they needed to get the roof to get the solar. Same thing with tree trimming and other things that have to do with energy efficiencies around your house.
And again, you need to check with your accountant on that too.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So just as an example, if I've got a $10,000 roof quote, and then I get the solar, then you'd be getting $2,600 off that
area
roofing job.
Is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let's go back here. So there's a long process to this. What we do is there we go. It does take a long time to go through the process, and what we're really trying to do is get someone to number 4 here, the site survey. Down here, the actual install is usually a couple months later. It takes a while. This isn't something we can just slap on the next day.
Yeah, this isn't like getting your yard mowed.
Exactly. And there's a lot of detail that has to go into permitting. It's a very long, detailed process of a customer saying they want it, and then us doing about 1 million things on the back end to make sure that this is for them. A lot of it has to do with looking at the way that the home is positioned. So what we do is we see, generally a good rule of thumb is the south is going to get the most sun all day. When we look at the different angles, east and west are going to be about 20% less, and the north side is about 40% less than the south.
Yeah, that's why southern exposure pools are so popular.
Yes, exactly. Now, what we do is we'll put a custom proposal together for somebody and figure out how many kilowatts it takes to offset the amount of kilowatt hours usage that that particular customer has. So what happens is, if somebody has $100 bill, it takes a lot less panels than someone who has a $400 bill. So we get the question all the time, well, how much does this cost? Well, you literally could be next door to someone that it costs 4 times the price. So there's no cookie cutter answer to how much it costs. It's literally individualized for every single home differently. And so that's why it makes sense to get a custom proposal, figure out what parts of your roof are able to have panels, where it would have the best offset. So now, like the green, those are in areas where it'll have a better offset than because that's on the south side and the west side, where here the red ones are on the south side. It's a lot choppier because there's more vents on that side. So here's a prime example where it would look aesthetically pleasing and have a great offset. Then we look at, a lot of times what happens is people don't quite understand it. The credits are coming over the deficits over a 365-day year. So as the year goes on, they might have some months where they overproduce and then underproduce. And the goal is to get about 100% over the entire year. So every time you create $1, they take $1 off that bill. So here's an example, someone who had about $179 average bill, and then the payment on the panels would be $152. The other thing is, if someone were to pay cash, then we don't own the finance companies. They could even get a better deal with, cutting out on interest, obviously, and finance charges and things.
Can you go back to the other slide you had?
Yes.
That one. Okay.
This one?
Yeah. Yep. No, I just want to look. You moved on to.
I moved a little quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry. So so this particular job was able to have 100% offset.
That basically means whatever their bill was will be equivalent to they'll be producing their own energy. And what we think about probably more than anything, Tim, is that we already have the bill. The most expensive thing that someone can do is nothing, because it's renting instead of owning. Here, they'll eventually get paid for, and they've got the same bill. And hopefully it'll be less in many, many cases.
And Tom, question, Tom, real quick. So you have, are you guys done with the slides?
No.
Well, we're at this point, Tim, talking about the myths. That's what we're going into next. I don't know if that's something that you'll want to.
Well, the myths, we're going to do another video, so they're going to have to tune in for that one too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, well, but I do have a couple questions though. Okay.
Sure. Go for it.
Yeah. You want to pop in so we can see you?
Yes.
You can see those lovely faces. There you are.
There we go.
So a couple questions on that. One is, what do you lost you? There you are. Southwest Florida solar panels. Hey, this looks like a sail on a boat almost. What's going to happen during a hurricane? So like, what do you say to people like that when they're like worried about hurricanes and investing that type of money into solar?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So generally, it's a misconception. You can look at lots of hurricane footage from a helicopter's point of view, and there's literally tons of it you can find on the internet where the side of the home that has the solar is the one that's still intact. The other side's ripped off. What happens is they're actually going in through the attic, finding the joists. These panels nowadays, you could drive a car over them. They're much stronger than panels. Yeah, they're very strong. And basically what they're doing is they're sandwiching them between the joists and the roof. So they're stronger than the asphalt roof.
Huh. Like you would think like there's air going under it and it would maybe lift it more or something like that.
Well, and I will tell you too, Tim, 95% of the people that do solar usually end up financing the project. And, if that were to happen, they have to have homeowners insurance. Certain size systems require an extra $1 million umbrella policy. It just depends on what type of system they have. And that's all insured anyways, just like, their home is insured if there was a hurricane.
That's pretty inexpensive to add that.
Yeah, about $8 a month is what.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. And in the nation, Tim, you're looking at, this is the Sunshine State. The largest in the nation is probably California, and then probably Florida's number two or number three as far as amount of solar installations. It's exploding all over.
Yeah. And then another question. So like you mentioned financing. So I think that slide had like $150 or something a month, maybe 180. And so like how long, most people, you said 95% of people finance. Is that what you said?
Correct.
So what are how long are the terms for solar?
Yeah. So They range all over the place. Some are 7-year terms, some are 25-year terms. It just depends on what if someone's looking for more of a bill swap, so they have the exact same bill or less than what they're paying now. That's kind of the attraction to it, because this is something that someone's spending anyways. They already have the monthly outgo. So when you flip it to something that you have ownership instead of having where the money's just going into a black hole every month with no ownership, that's the enticing part for most customers. So if we're able to have obviously the less amount of years, it's going to be a higher payment, but then it'll be paid off quicker, and then they would only have that $9 connection fee.
The other thing, Tim, too, is what in our company, what we do is we put a 25-year warranty on not only the panels. They'll last a lot longer than that. And then we also put 25 years on the labor portion of it, which is absolutely huge. So if you have a leaky roof or whatever, we take care of that. If the panel does not produce according to what we say it's going to produce, you'll actually have an output of the panel on your phone. And with that output of the panel on your phone, it'll tell you every panel what the output is. If it doesn't follow through with that, they end up getting a new panel. So at no extra cost. And there's nothing down. When we quote anything that we quote, there's nothing out of pocket whatsoever. The installation's included, everything's included. And so it's nice because someone can get started with solar really tomorrow, because there isn't anything that's out of pocket. And as long as they've got a good roof and their credit's good, they're good to go.
Yeah, it's really the only home improvement they can do. We could do our countertops, floors, put in a pool, all these things where it's going to raise the equity on day one, but also their monthly outgo went up on day one. Here, the monthly outgo stayed the same or maybe even went down a little bit while that equity went up. Generally, it's going to raise, I mean, it really depends on the home, but it's usually somewhere in that 5% range that the value of the home, it usually raises. When I showed you that $400 bill going down to a $9 bill, if you're looking at it from a home buyer's perspective, which home do you want to buy that are next door to each other that are both for sale? The one with the $400 bill or the one with the $9 bill? People are usually willing to spend, an extra 15 or 20 grand on the front end because then they have an asset, they own their property, they own their electricity, just on the front end. And it depends on which type of appraiser you use. A lot of appraisers are not up to speed on the value of solar yet. So we do have appraisers that we know that actually are educated in this process.
But are you saying, do you think on average it increases value by about 5%?
Approximately.
Yeah, Zillow had that. Also, Berkeley Labs had that. It was actually 4.1%. This is 2 or 3 years ago. So it's going to increase the value of the property, obviously. And then more and more people want to have a cleaner world. They're looking for something that is they already, I guess what John said too, they already have the money. It just depends on, they get nothing for it now. In fact, their energy company is literally their landlord. Now, what we're suggesting is to own it.
No, I got you. And so last question, if you don't mind. Someone out there gets solar, it's a 10-year loan, okay? And 5 years into it, they have a job transfer, new kids, whatever, they have to sell their house. So what happens if someone has that solar energy, they haven't paid y'all off yet, or whoever it is, paid them off yet, and they're selling their house? What happens at that time?
Great question. So it's gonna react the identical way that if you didn't have your pool paid off or your countertops paid off, you just include it in the sale price and
In the payoff.
Yeah. The other option that is available with solar is that bill I showed that was I think it was $154 a month in that last customer's scenario. He can actually just the new homeowner, the new buyer can actually just pick up where they left off.
They can assume it.
You can assume the seller can, or the buyer can assume the seller's solar loan.
Yes.
Yep.
And it depends on which company you use. The loan companies that we particularly use are able to do that. Also, the companies we use do not attach it to the home. as far as like on the title or anything where it would be
Like a second mortgage or something like that.
yeah, so it's actually treated more in the same level of buying a car. So technically they could come repo the panels if someone didn't pay, but they're never going to do that because they already probably made a decent amount of money just on the financing. So it just doesn't really happen. So it's really not attached to anything. So they get the benefit of that compared to other home improvements at the same time as getting the savings.
Okay, cool. So if you have, do you have anything else you want to add? Because we are going to do another video about the myths of solar too. I want to talk about that.
No.
Okay. So if anyone out there wants solar, you know, they want to quote, they want to talk to you, they have questions or concerns, how do they get a hold of Green Panda Energy?
Well, they can look us up on the internet. It's greenpandaenergy.com. You could also call our 1-800 number. It's 888-PANDA-98. That's 888-PANDA-98. Pretty simple. And just give us a call. And what we'll do is we'll put a custom proposal. We'll look at the satellite imagery, and we can even let you know right over the phone at first or on an email if it's even remotely looking like it's close to being. It's probably around one out of 3 homes is a very good candidate for this. So it's not for everybody. I had probably 3 or 4 last week where, you know, we looked at the numbers and I told them maybe it's not necessarily for that. It's some of them are borderline, some of them absolutely shouldn't do it. If someone's moving in a couple of years, probably don't need to waste your time thinking about it. If somebody tells me this is my forever home, absolutely the numbers are going to probably make sense. So just usually the ROI, if you include the equity, the tax benefits, some of the other factors are usually going to be in the 3 to 8 year range for the ROI. And a lot of people think you have to wait, 30 years to get your money back, but you don't. And then obviously there's the environmental benefit to this. For me personally, I'm a business owner and I like saving money and I like the environment too. But if it's double the cost to go solar, I'm not going to do it. And probably 99% of other people won't do it either. But if it's the same cost and I can have clean energy versus dirty coal energy and they're the same price, I'm going to use the clean energy all day long.
Right. No, that makes sense. So I would encourage anyone out there, if you have questions, you need more information about solar, reach out to these guys and their entire squad at Green Panda Energy. They'd be happy to help you. Good dudes, great family. And I appreciate you guys coming on. And don't forget, if you're watching this video, we're going to do another one about the 4 myths of solar energy. So make sure you check that out as well. John, Tom, enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, problem. You guys, and if you're watching again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Anyone you know maybe wants to know about solar, homeowners, watch it on YouTube. Subscribe, please. It helps me out. Click like, comment, help your boy out. I'd appreciate it. Same with podcasts, Spotify, iTunes. Press subscribe. So thank you very much. Everyone have a great day. See you. See you guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.